Hello everyone. In the last video we have seen the properties of transposition. Now let us see a very important theorem. This theorem we have already seen with the help of example. So the theorem is every permutation in Sn can be written as product of disjoint cycles. So every permutation in Sn can be written as product of disjoint cycles. We have already seen this through examples. So before writing the proof, let me explain you the proof with the help of the one example only. So we will consider a permutation sigma in S9. That is, it is a permutation on the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So consider this permutation 1 mapping to 3, 2 mapping to 5, 3 mapping to 4, 4 mapping to 1, 5 mapping to 9, 6 mapping to 8, 7 mapping to 6, 8 mapping to 7, and 9 mapping to 2 in S9. Or it is a permutation on the set 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now we have to write this permutation as product of disjoint cycles. So what we will do here is, what is the outline of the proof is, you take any element from the set 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You start with any element. So let me start with 3. You find image of 3 under sigma. So you see what is sigma of 3. Sigma of 3 is 4. We will call this 3, the first element we will choose, as A1, and then we find sigma of A1. We call that element as A2. Here 4 is sigma of A1, that is A2. Then you see where 4 is mapping. 4 is mapping to 1. Okay, so you call sigma of 4 as 1, that is sigma of A2 as A3. Okay. Then you see where 1 is mapping. So 1 is mapping to 3, again back to 3. So sigma of A3 is again A1. Okay, so we close the bracket here. Then what do? We choose an element from the set 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, which is not there in this cycle. So let us start with the element 2. 2 is not present here in this cycle. Let us see the image of 2 under sigma. That is, we will find sigma of 2. Sigma of 2 is 5. So we will call this element as B1 in the second cycle. If we find sigma of B1 we will call as B2. So here B2 is 5. Then see the image of 5. Image of 5 is 9. That is sigma of B2. This will be a B3. Then see where 9 is mapping. 9 is mapping to 2. So 9 is again going back to 2. So we close the cycle here. Then you consider an element which is not there in these two cycles. If you have exhausted all the elements, then we will stop here. But we can observe that all the elements of the set 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 has not been exhausted. So we will choose an element which is not there in these two cycles. So let me start with the element 6. 6 is not present in these two cycles. So you observe that 6 is mapping to 8, then 8 is mapping to 7, and 7 is again mapping to 6. So we close the cycle here. So hence we have written sigma as product of disjoint cycles. So as we have solved this example, in a similar manner we will write the proof of this theorem. Okay, so let me rub this example and we'll start with the proof of the theorem. So proof, you have to prove that Any permutation in Sn can be written as product of disjoint cycles. So you consider any permutation. Let alpha belong to Sn be any permutation. We are not taking identity permutation, so alpha not equal to identity permutation. Because identity permutation, 1 is mapping to 1, 2 is mapping to 2, 3 is mapping to 3. So it is obvious that it can be written as product of disjoint 1 cycles, 1, 2, 3, and so on. Let alpha belong to Sn be any permutation. Alpha is not equal to identity. That is, alpha is any permutation on the set capital A is equal to 1, 2, 3 up to n. Alpha is a permutation on this set, meaning alpha is a bijection from the set A to itself. Okay, in our example, our set was 1, 2, 3 up to 9. What we have done in that example, we have picked up any element from that set. So here also we'll pick any element from the set A. So pick any element of A. Let us call that element as A1. So say A1 and compute where this A1 is mapping under alpha. That is, you have to compute alpha of A1. Call alpha of A1 as A2. A2 is equal to alpha of A1. Similarly, you find the image of A2 under alpha. You find alpha of A2 and call that element as A3. Similarly, A3 is equal to alpha of A2, which is alpha of A1, that is alpha square of A1. Then you find image of A3 under alpha and call that as A4. A4 is equal to alpha of A3, which will be nothing but alpha cube of A1, and so on. But since A is finite, capital A is a finite set, so the sequence A1, comma alpha of A1, alpha square of A1, alpha cube of A1, and so on must also be finite. Means the sequence must somewhere end. So at some point you will get that alpha raised to something is again A1. It means there will be a repetition. So let me rub this. Let me keep the last sentence. A is finite, so the sequence must also be finite. Hence, there must be repetitions. That is, there will exist I less than j, for which alpha raised to I of A1 will be equal to alpha raised to j of A1, because the sequence must be finite, and therefore A1 will be equal to alpha raised to I minus j of A1. That is, A1 is equal to alpha raised to m of A1. So at some point you will again go back to A1 with m is equal to I minus j. So we can write the permutation alpha as, so your first cycle will be A1 mapping to A2, which is alpha square of A1, A2 mapping to A3, and so on, is mapping to AM, and so on. What does these dot indicate? Why we have written dot? We have written the dots because it may happen that in this cycle there are we have not exhausted all the elements of A. Okay, so the dots indicate that we may not have exhausted all the elements of A. Not have exhausted means we have not have considered, we have not have got all the elements of A inside the cycle. There must be some element of A which is not there in the cycle. All the elements of A. So we pick one element of A which is not there in this cycle. So we pick V1 belonging to A such that V1 does not belong to the cycle A1, A2, AM, or B1 does not belong to the set A1, A2, AM. Then as the previous process, we will find alpha of B1. We find alpha of B1 and we call alpha of B1 as B2. B2 is equal to alpha of B1. Then we find alpha of B2 and we call it as B3. We have to repeat the same process as we have repeated for AIs and repeat the same process to get another cycle, B1, B2, B3, Bk as we have got this previous cycle. Now these two cycles must be disjoint, meaning that these two cycles should not contain any element in common. Why? Let us see why they should be disjoint. So let me rub this. So note that the two cycles A1, A2, AM and B1, B2, Bk must be disjoint. But if they are not disjoint, then what will happen? Let us see. But if they have any element in common, they had a common element. Suppose they had a common element. Then for some powers I and j, common element means for some I and j you will have alpha raised to I of A1 is equal to alpha raised to j of B1, because in the first cycle you have A1, then alpha square of A1, alpha cube of A1, alpha raised to I minus j, or alpha raised to m of A1, and so on. And in the second cycle you have B1 alpha of B1, alpha square of B1, and so on. So all the powers of alpha with acting on B1, and here all the powers of alpha acting on A1. So if they have a common element, so you must have this condition. And what does this condition imply? This condition imply that B1 is equal to, take alpha raised to j on that side, so you will get B1 is equal to alpha raised to I minus j of A1. So B1 is also alpha raised to some power acting on A1. So what does it mean? It means that this B1 must be from A1, A2, AM only. So this implies that B1 should belong to the set A1, A2, AM, which is the contradiction to our choice of B1, because we have picked B1 such that it does not belong to this set. It is not there in this set, which is contradiction to the choice of B1, and hence alpha can now be written as A1, A2, AM, B1, B2, BK, and dots. Again, why we are writing dots? Because it may happen that this set does not contain some element of capital A, or these two cycles have not exhausted all the elements of A. Okay, and these two cycles are disjoint, where the first two cycles are disjoint, and the dots indicate that there can be still elements in A which are not exhausted by the above two cycles. So let us pick one element, say C1 from A, which is not there in these two cycles, and repeat the same process. So take C1 belonging to A such that C1 does not belong to the set A1, A2, AM, comma, B1, B2, BK, and repeat the same procedure. So continuing in this way, because A is finite, so this process must stop somewhere. A is finite, so this process must end. And hence, finally we can write A as, alpha, the permutation alpha as product of disjoint cycles. So I hope the proof is clear.